All right, here we go. Back at it. Another great weekend of action coming your way. We've got some weather issues taking place, Midwest and the East Coast, but I don't think it's going to impact what's happening on Saturday at Saratoga, and that's what we're going to focus in on for this Independence Day or 4th of July holiday weekend, whatever you want to call it. Let's get down to business. It's the fun part. It's just the handicapping. That's all we care about. We don't care about the other nonsense. All right, let's get down into business here. Grade 3 Sanford Stakes is going to be race number 5 on the card Saturday at Saratoga. We have, 9 runners here set to go 6 furlongs main track. Taking a look at your runners, you know how I do. When you see that little green dash, that means I believe that that horse possesses early speed. So, Regent's Park, right? Rasasi, excuse me. Then there's Pocket Listing. Booked also has a little bit of speed to offer. And so of those, you know you're not going to get all of the runners out there on the front end, right? So I believe that the 6, or the 7 rather, Ashcroft Lane, that's the number 7. I believe Ashcroft Lane is the quickest of the speed horses. And here's how I deduce. So we have a lot of these runners coming out of 4.5 furlong events. And if you look at their fractions, they're almost identical to what's happening here going 5.5 for Ashcroft Lane. So one of the things I look for, obviously fractions, right? 22 and 3, 46 and 2 almost. That's not bad. But I love the final time going 5.5 furlongs on the sloppy track there. I like what they were doing. So I believe that Ashcroft Lane has the ability to be right there with the other runners. And then I think because they ran 5.5 furlongs, they may have a stamina edge. But I think that Ashcroft Lane is the quickest of the speed horses. But we're going 6 furlongs, and that means we're probably going to have a little bit of a duel up front, which sets it up for the runners from off the pace. Jack's Golden Goal. Really nice figure there, a 73 in that debut performance where they did not win. They ran second on June the 7th. Blinkers on for this second start of the career, so we'll get a tiny bit more zip from Jack's Golden Goal early on. But I believe that the 5, Vicino, with Jose Ortiz, very impressive closing kick to win in that restricted maiden event at Churchill. I just think that was probably a tougher situation with that field of 7, and I think that the 5 will get the money. I don't know what our value is going to be, but I believe that with that horse being 6-1 on the morning line, we'll get 9-2 as our lowest price there. So that's what we're doing. The 5 Vicino, probably get 9-2 in the Grade 3 Sanford Stakes, race 5 on Saturday at Saratoga. We move on from there. We go to race number 7. Grade 1 Belmont Oaks Stakes. Now we have these runners, fillies, because you see the word Oaks there. 3-year-old fillies going 1 1/8 on the turf course. Not a lot of speed in this race as we go 1 1/8. Sometimes that can be a huge deal. And, for the most part in turf racing, they have such a great closing kick and they're all kind of trained to do that from off the pace. It doesn't really matter. But in this case, we may have a situation. It appears to me that Ultimate Love might be the controlling speed of the race. Just watching that performance last time out, they were kind of forwardly placed. And I now think second off the layoff, Johnny V will put this filly in the same spot and be forwardly placed. But my problem is I don't trust her to finish the deal, right? So now you've got these other runners that could be making the move. Faithful Departed can close, and I don't think they need a pace setup. I think they just, like I said, most turf runners just kind of, they're taught to sit, cover up, and then go. But Faithful Departed has such a consistent kick that I think she's going to be in the mix no matter what happens in front. And the man who we think is pretty much, unless things go completely awry for him in the second half of the year, Jose Ortiz is going to win your Eclipse Award for Best Jockey. But I believe that this runner will get the better of them all. I just love all of the Oscar performance runners on the turf. Just love them. And Brian Lynch does a great job as a trainer. Look at all those bullet workouts. Storm's Wake is a really consistent closer. And here's the thing that I like about Storm's Wake. I think that she has room to improve. I think she can get better. And because she's got that room to improve, we're going to get 10-1 on the morning line. And I think we'll get every single dime of that. 10-1 on Storm's Wake the 5 in race number 7. That's the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks Stakes Saturday at Saratoga. Love it. I love it. I love it. Moving on, Grade 2 Suburban Stakes, Saturday, Saratoga, 1.25 miles, race number 8, 11 runners in the field. Some of these runners we are familiar with. Some others, maybe not. You know the deal. Green little check mark means I think they have some speed. We know Phileas Fogg is going to go, go, go. It's your winner of this race last year. Just a really tough horse. Forge Steel, who scratched out of whatever the heck we just had recently. I can't keep track of all these races. Stephen Foster, I do believe it was. And has some speed. Classicist to the inside is not a controlling type, but is a forwardly placed type. And then there's Antiquarian, who couldn't quite get to Phileas Fogg last time out, likes to be forwardly placed, and I think is always dangerous with Johnny V in the irons. That's where we're going to start. I think this runner has the tactical speed to stay close. I think with Forge Steel and Phileas Fogg, that's all they need to kind of just push the pace enough so that Antiquarian's in a good spot where they can run them down from just sitting off the pace. Johnny V will have this runner in the right spot. He always does. It's a consistent runner who definitely can step up and win the game and win this race. But it is going to be a challenge because, once again, somebody has to go and get Phileas Fogg. And I think they will. And I think it's going to be just enough to set it up for the runner that we like, Original Sin. So Original Sin is a runner that's really needs to step up. This runner is 10-1 on the morning line. And if you look at these horses in this race, you're thinking, I've never really seen much of this horse, just won the Grade 3 Blame, and is 10-1 on the morning line. I thought the horse would have been higher because he doesn't really have a tremendous amount of graded stakes experience. And you're dealing with some runners like Phileas Fogg and Antiquarian who don't mess around. Hit Show is in this race for crying out loud. That horse does not mess around. He likes to win races. Tistastic has some talent, for sure. Yo Daddy, Classicist. Parchment Party will be closing like crazy. So I believe that the fact that Original Sin is only 10-1, I thought the horse would have been higher on the morning line. I love the running style. I love the fact that we have a horse that could be coming into their own and will get great value, has a lovely turn of foot, great kick in the stretch, and I think we're going to be in the mix. We get racing luck or we don't. What are you going to do? You're going to move on to the next race is what you're going to do. Grade 1 Belmont Derby, 1.1 miles on the turf course. The word Derby means 3-year-old colts and geldings and whatnot. Race number 9 on the grass. Blackmail to the inside, forwardly placed. Third Coast, forwardly placed. West End Kid really wants to go. Touch of Fire, has speed but is versatile. So it's enough early on in this race to make it interesting. Man, Touch of Fire is a badass. This horse does not mess around and is very versatile, and I believe is the one to beat because he's got speed. He can control things if you don't want to go out there, and if you do, like he did at Keeneland 2 starts back, you want to go nuts early on, going 1 mile and a 16, 22-2 for the opening quarter. That sets it up for him. That's what he wants. You don't want to dictate the pace. You want him to sit just off. That's what he did last time out in the Audubon. So Touch of Fire is really versatile, in great form, and is really going to take a lot of beating. But then there are other runners who are kind of also in good form. West End Kid is for real. This runner has speed, but will probably have to use some of it early to get into position. But if you look at him, very similar to Touch of Fire. A versatile runner that can make the move from off the pace, has proven that, and can also be up there, not necessarily dictating, but pressing that pace. Touch of Fire and West End Kid, they're interesting, and they could run around 1-2 around the whole thing. But my selection, I think, has a really great turn of foot, and I think that we'll get a decent setup with the other runners that are present in this race. Botas just is a really, really classy runner. Now, second off the layoff. Needed that run last time out because hadn't run since October, so needed that. Now comes back. Second off the layoff. There are certain riders I'm just not really a fan of. Manny Franco's one of them, but I'm going to go ahead and trust him here in this situation. And I think if he can get the right setup, we get 10-1 morning line on Botas. I don't think we'll get bet down at all. I think we're going to get all the value. I think we have great selections, and we have a chance to get value in every single one of these races, and that's why we like to play when we have these opportunities. Sometimes you just don't have them, and you just got to make a decision. Are you going to try to maybe hammer that favorite, or are you just going to say no and move on? I think this Saturday, even with the excessive heat, even with everything that's happening that's been delaying some of the races and some of the cards, like they've canceled some Friday action because of the heat, I don't know how it's going to impact the horses, but I believe we're going to be ripe for prices. So let's go get it, right? This is the only part we care about. Nuts and bolts, the science of handicapping the horses, and then just trying to find the best winner and give yourself the best chance at value, at making some money. All right? There it is. That's how we do it here on Horse Race Bets. In the meantime, in between time, until next time, I'm Ken Rudolph. Good luck, and do me a favor. Enjoy whatever you're into.